How are you, everybody? I want to wish you a good evening today, and I'm very glad to be with you once again to do our Thursday evening training. I hope the month of July went well, and I wish you all the best in this new month that we have started. And as you might have noticed in your invite, that today we are talking about cancer support. And what I wanted to start with is to say that we should not promise people that we are curing cancer. What our supplements can do is help to support them as their body fights the cancer, as they get their treatment and as they try to fight and get their health back. So I wanted to start with a bit of background information. And the first one is just to say that any of us and any of our body cells can become cancerous. So it's not something that is unique to other people. It can happen to any of us and to any part of our body. And this is because we have that ability to get cancer. All that is required is that something triggers it. So the thing to think about is not how can I avoid getting cancer, but rather how to avoid triggering whatever can cause us to get cancer. By the time we already have the cancer, things are a bit far gone. So normally what we would want to recommend is that we do what is needed to protect ourselves from any of the triggers that might bring about cancerous growth in our body. And there are a number of triggers which are normally called carcinogens, and I'll mention a few of them and explain a little bit. The first one, and the one that probably all of us know, is nicotine, which is the active ingredient in cigarettes. And this has been carefully studied and well established that it causes cells to become cancerous. So that is one of the triggers or one of the carcinogens, and one that we should avoid because it is well established that it is one of it's in fact, I think, the leading cause of cancer that is well studied and well known. Then the second one is what is called metabolic syndrome, which I will explain a little bit. There are certain characteristics that fall under what we call metabolic syndrome. And this is number one, if a person's waistline is more than 100 centimeters for men or 90 centimeters for women. That is telling us that if our abdomen, our bellies are very large, we are already moving towards metabolic syndrome. The second thing is if our blood pressure, the BP, is higher than 138/85, that's the second thing in metabolic syndrome. The third thing is if our fasting blood fat, that is when we haven't eaten, if the fat in our blood is measured, it is higher than 150 milligrams per deciliter. And the last one is if we are pre-diabetic. Pre-diabetes means that we have not become fully diabetes, but we are on the way. So these four factors comprise what we call the metabolic syndrome. And the reason why this is important is that each of these things, through the help of a good lifestyle and our products, we can actually turn back the symptoms of metabolic syndrome, which is the number 2 well-known cause of cancer. And again, this one, nicotine will normally trigger cancer in the lung tissues and our respiratory system. But metabolic syndrome can trigger off cancer in very many different parts of our bodies. So just for us to understand that the metabolic syndrome will normally be if we have got too much weight and if we've got very poor lifestyle choices, and if we do this for a prolonged period, then we are putting ourselves at that risk, not only of having high blood pressure and all that, but also of triggering a cancer. Then another trigger for cancers can be certain viruses that we may come across. Also certain chemicals in our environment, like for example, agricultural chemicals and chemicals that are found in cosmetics and so on. These can be triggers, and also radiation. So those are 5 of the carcinogens that have been studied and that we we can take note of and try as much as we can to avoid them, because they are some of the things that can trigger cancerous growths within us. Then the thing is that if the trigger is just once, then it is not going to be so bad. But if the trigger is chronic, then what happens is that it's like you are scratching something. If you keep on scratching and scratching, eventually you are going to damage it. So if we keep on putting our body through these triggers, then what is going to happen is what we call oxidative stress. It's a certain kinds of reactions that take place in our cells, and eventually the cell gets damaged because it is too much. And this oxidative stress damages our cells, the processes in our cells, as well as the DNA. So that, remember that we all have DNA in our cells, and it is the DNA is like an instruction manual for our cells to know how to work. If the DNA is damaged, then the cell does not behave the way it should. It stops obeying the rest of the body and the instructions that it is supposed to be using to operate within the body. So that is how the oxidative stress that is brought about by the cancer triggers starts the cancer growth taking place. So these damaged cells that have been damaged through oxidative stress are going to start malfunctioning. And one of the ways in which they malfunction is that they start growing abnormally and very fast. So our cells, just to explain a little bit, our cells usually have instructions on how to grow and when to grow, when to stop, and when to die. So our bodies have instructions for our cells to do all these things. But if the cell is damaged and starts malfunctioning, then it is not going to obey the instruction manual. It's going to start doing its own thing. And that is why quite often we speak about tumors or cancerous growths. These are cells which are no longer behaving the way they are supposed to behave, and they're not able to perform the function which they are normally supposed to do. So for example, if it's cells in the eye, they'll just start growing, but they don't grow into the cells that are supposed to participate in seeing. So they may just become a big mass of cells which does not do any work. And that is an example of what happens when the cellular processes are not going on well, and when the DNA in our cells has been damaged. It means that the instruction manual has been thrown out, and the cell is now just doing what it wants and does not obey the instruction manual of our DNA. So then, this of course means that the cancer which is growing in a person is actually our own cells, but it's as if they have staged a coup. They are doing what they want and not what they are supposed to do. And those cancerous cells do not perform the function of the organ in which they are growing. And as they grow more and more, they reduce the good functional cells and replace them, and the function of the organ can be seriously limited. So for that reason, of course, we know that it's a very distressing illness, cancer, and most of us fear to ever hear that diagnosis that we have a cancer in our bodies, or anyone that we know and love has got it. And for that reason is why we say that the best approach for cancer support is to prevent. So prevention is key, and we should be proactive with the information and knowledge that has been accumulated about the causes of cancer. We should then use that information, not just as information that we hear, but as ways in which to improve our choices, so that our choices do not set off the trigger that is going to cause cancer to start growing in us. So I like to give the example that in the 1950s, some of the researchers from Europe were studying Africans in Africa who were living the traditional lifestyle, eating our traditional African foods. And there are several cancers. Cancer in general was very rare amongst these Africans in the 1950s. And some cancers were completely absent. For example, colon cancer, which has become fairly common now among us. And they thought that Africans were immune to those cancers. But later on, as our diet and lifestyles changed, what happened is that we started getting those same cancers to which they thought we were immune. So that just tells us that our lifestyle has got a lot to do with some of the illnesses that we are seeing and that are devastating our communities today. And for that reason, we've got a number of suggestions that we can make to help ourselves on our continent in order to be proactive in cancer prevention. This especially because, as you know, we are a poor continent. Often we do not have the medical uh, facilities and the finances to help us once the cancer has actually been diagnosed. But if we take the prevention route, what is going to happen is that we are not going, in most cases, to find ourselves in that situation. And it is not a difficult thing to do to go back to our traditional cultural foods and lifestyles because they cost a lot less. If you think about our traditional foods, they are normally not so expensive. The more expensive stuff is usually the stuff that is harmful to us. So as always, I recommend that we try to go back as much as possible to our ancestral foodstuffs and some of the lifestyle, for example, being more mobile. You can imagine our people years ago, they did not have vehicles and all this time for sitting around. They moved a lot and worked a lot. We too can make an effort to increase the ways in which we copy our ancestors. Okay, so then another thing to say is that we should get informed. This is the information age where we can easily find any pieces of information that we need in a forum like this when we do training, but also on any ideas. If you go into the internet, you can ask any question that is on your mind, and most probably you'll find an answer. The problem sometimes is that there are so many answers that you actually don't know what you should take on board and what is not of use. But definitely we should try to get as much information as we can, because the more we know, the better our choices are going to be. Then the other is, as much as possible, to opt for a healthy diet. I've already mentioned that. We should opt for good proteins, such as fish. If we can get wild fish, that is fish which is not farmed, it is best. If the waters are not polluted, it's even better. We should use our traditional chicken, which is grown in free-range conditions and are allowed to roam about. You know, those ones, the road runner chickens that many of us are very fond of. And meats which have not been processed, so not the salamis and polonis and all this, but meat which has not been processed. So as much as possible to go for such. On the side of carbohydrates, we should opt for tubers and roots and whole grains, as well as legumes. The legumes are the bean family. And then fresh vegetables. I mean, in our African context, we've got very many different types of vegetables that our parents and grandparents and ancestors have always used. We should try to bring this back on board so that the farmers can grow more of them, and they can be more available for us to use, because they've got very many good nutrients that we are missing when our vegetables are limited to just a few, like maybe spinach and cabbage, where we should try to increase the variety of vegetables that we take. Then also good fats. We know that there are some fats which are harmful and some fats which are healthy. So fruits like avocados give us a good source of healthy fats. Things like ghee, which is used by many cultures in Africa and in the Asian continent. Coconut, also very much used in many traditions, and olive oil. Then the things to eliminate and avoid are, of course, as I've already mentioned, processed foods, and we should limit added sugar in our diet. If we want something sweet, we should opt for fruits as far as possible. We should avoid even fruit juice, because fruit juice is just refined fruit. Instead of drinking the juice, it's better to eat the fruit. It is more beneficial for us. Then on the Neolife side, I think I've spoken quite a bit about the lifestyle side. On the Neolife side, we've got a very powerful supplement that we can use for helping us in supporting our efforts to avoid cancer, and also in cases where the cancer has been diagnosed, it can also help. So this supplement, as you know, is phytodefense, which is made of a large variety of plant nutrients that helps in giving us antioxidants and nutrients which will enable our body to do a number of things. So phytodefense and the plant nutrients which you'll get from your diet are going to do at least three things that I'll mention here. The first one is that they neutralize those cancer triggers that I've been speaking about. So one way in which they work is to neutralize the triggers, because remember we said it is important to avoid the trigger from doing the work of triggering the cancerous growth. So the phytonutrients help with that. The second thing they help with is to neutralize those harmful byproducts that cause oxidative stress and damage our cells. So they help to neutralize them. That is why we call them antioxidants. They work against the free radicals or the oxidative stress chemicals. And then the third thing is that they help the body to heal damaged cells. Before those cells go rogue and become cancerous, they help them to heal, because once they are healed, they go back to behaving like normal cells should, and they don't turn on the body and become cancerous. So those are three ways that I wanted to mention of how phytodefense does its work. And as you can see, it works together with our body. What our body is trying to do is what it helps it to do well. So, of course, as I've said, the best is prevention. But once the cancer has been diagnosed, all is not lost. We can still support the body in its fight against cancer and help even when the person needs to go through chemotherapy. We have got still the possibility of using phytodefense and as well as NutriShake, because a good source of proteins for someone who is undergoing chemotherapy is very important. And the Neolife Shake or NutriShake are very good, because sometimes people who are undergoing chemotherapy struggle with a poor diet, or they may have sores in their mouths that makes it hard for them to swallow, or they may just not want to eat certain things. So the NutriShake or Neolife Shake, if we make it into a smoothie or a drink and maybe add other nutrients, it would make a nice meal for them that is easy for them to take. And another thing that can help is aloe vera plus, to help with the nausea that is normally associated with chemotherapy, and also as a tonic for the gut. Then after chemotherapy, remember that chemotherapy kills the cancer cells, but it also attacks other cells which are innocent. So there are many innocent bystanders who also get injured by the chemotherapy. So after the chemotherapy process has taken place, after, not during, after chemotherapy, some of the products that we can recommend is Betagard to help in detoxing the body. And for the newer distributors, you may not be aware of this, but the founder of the scientific advisory board for Neolife was a man called Dr. Arthur Fast, who is the one who formulated Betagard as the supplement we use for helping us to detox against the chemotherapy drugs, because they are very powerful and they cause quite a bit of damage. So once the process of chemotherapy has taken place, then we recommend the use of Calmac. We also, the use of Betagard, as well as also Calmac, which helps to repair some of the nerves that get damaged from chemotherapy and cause numbness or tingling or pain. So those are two products that we can bring in for someone who has been undergoing chemotherapy to help them to get back to their normal selves. And once the treatment is over, we continue with phytodefense. in order to ensure that we help the body to continue to fight against triggers and proceed with the healing process. And it helps them also as they try to reestablish a good, healthy diet, and maybe they are struggling, then we can go on with the phytodefense and the Nutri-Shake for them. So those are some of the products from our Neolife range that can help in supporting those of our brothers and sisters who are either trying to recover from cancer, or who are interested in making, maybe as a result of a family history, you may know that you are in particular, have a particular possibility for developing cancer. Then we can advise them to use phytodefense to help them with the prevention of cancer. So I have a little bit of time, which I want to use in answering one or two questions. One of the questions I received was about detox. I remember we had this in our training cycle some time ago, so I'll just quickly say that detoxing with the Neolife system is quite helpful. When we feel like our body is struggling in eliminating toxins because we feel sluggish or lethargic, or just lacking in our usual brightness, what we can do is have the detox products at hand and do a quick detox, maybe 2-3 times a year is quite enough. And we can buy this product and use them for the whole year. So you won't finish the products of a detox in one detox. I think is usually enough for 2 or 3 cycles of detox. So the products that we use in the detox are Beta Guard, which helps the body in eliminating some of the chemical toxins that our environment introduces in our bodies. Another one is Stage 6, which helps in elimination of digestive wastes. So if you notice that maybe you've been struggling to eliminate with stool elimination, maybe you're constipated or you are gassy and bloated, then Stage 6 helps with that. And the other one in the detox range is garlic, allium complex, which acts as an antimicrobial agent that's acidic in our bodies and might be the efficiency. The fourth product is multimineral alfalfa, which supports the kidney in its detox work to remove the body's wastes. And lastly, if you have it in your market, we can use acidophilus, which helps us to repopulate the gut with friendly microbes, because sometimes maybe we have taken some drugs, medicines that have adversely affected our friendly microbes. Then acidophilus would help us to reestablish the good microbes in our gut. So those are the detox range. Then maybe another question. Someone asked about colon polyps. These are growths in the colon, that is the lower part of the gut as you move towards the anus. So these growths can later become cancerous. So it's better to start once you have been diagnosed with colon polyps, it means that you have a warning bell. And so we can take the steps of cleaning up our diet, that is eating better, good, healthy foods, and eliminating the processed foods, the factory fats, and so on. And then with the Neolife, we can supplement with vitamin A plus D, as well as vitamin B complex. And if you have it in your market, we can also recommend acidophilus. So there's still 1 minute. So the other person asked about when you have been diagnosed with having abnormal cells during a pap smear. If this is in the case of ladies, if you go for a pap smear and the doctor says that you have got abnormal cells in the cervix, this is not cancer, but there is a chance that it can develop into a cancer. So it's another one that is a warning bell. If you are told that you have abnormal cells in your cervix as a result of your taking the pap smear test, then that tells you that you need to take the supplements that help the body in preventing these from becoming cancerous. And the products we recommend for that are carotenoid complex, vitamin C, and vitamin B complex. So my half an hour is over. I hope that you have found this session beneficial. I want to thank you very much for your attention this evening. And I want to encourage you to go out there because the need is great. And we need to increase our numbers of distributors so that we get the message to more and more people. And especially, we need to remember that there are so many illnesses today that are actually the result of our lifestyle choices, which means that the information we have and the products we have are going to make a real difference in people's lives. So let us all go out there and make the world a happier and healthier and even wealthier place. Thank you very much. I want to hand you over to Pascal now, who is going to share with you his session.
Thank you very much, Betsy. I think this session, we want to discuss something that is very important in building our business. That is a wonderful session on managing cancer. But now let us think about how to build our businesses to get it to generate for us more income so that we can lead a healthier and a happier life. My session today I wanted to share with you two things. One is called the business system, and the second one is the attitude that helps us to become successful. So if you give me a moment, let's discuss first of all the business system. Why is the business system very important? I think all of you know that the perfect system that exists in the world is a human body. The human body has been made wonderfully and fearfully. Why do I say that? The human body is made up of several systems. We've got the nervous system, we've got the skeletal structure, we've got the brain function, you've got the eyes, you've got the breathing apparatus, you've got the cardiovascular system, you've got different systems of the body, and all of them work, whether we know or not. Or that means they work even when you're not conscious that they are actually working. And all of them work to such perfection that it takes scientists years and years just to study one part of the human body. For example, neurosurgeons spend years studying the human brain. That is just one of them. Then cardiologists study how the heart performs or how the heart keeps the body or pumping blood throughout the body all the time, 24 hours, 365 days. I don't know how many years in your lifetime. All these systems work together so well that it's amazing the way the human body functions. The other one I would like to talk to you about is man-made. Let us look at something that I think most of you can are aware of. This is a car system. And I'm sure a number of you drive cars. If you drive a car, I mean, when you get into the car, start the engine and drive, you don't think about, is my braking system working? Is my fuel system working? Is the engine system working? Is the suspension system working? You just get into the car, start the engine and drive off. But all these parts of the car have been so carefully designed that they work together for the movement and the safety of the driver and the passengers. For example, you have the suspension system that supports the car as you drive. Then you have the fuel system from the tank through the petrol or diesel pipes to the carburetor, from the carburetor to the engine, from the engine, then it goes to another system, the exhaust system. All these systems have been so carefully designed so that they work in unison that moves the car efficiently. Now, our business has got something similar called the business building system. If you really want to be successful in this business, I want to suggest to you, take time to study what our system is, put it into action so that your business grows with or without you. And that is the essence of our business. In fact, one of the reasons why Betty and I started this business is so that we can build a business that actually grows in our absence. That is the nature of our business. If you master that process, your business will grow with or without you. And this leads to us to understand how the system really works. Okay, let me go back to what I wanted to share with you. All right, what is our business system? And why is it called a business system? A system is a series of procedures, tools, and events that we use to build our business so that our business grows in our absence. That is what a business system is. And some of the leaders in our company have spent a considerable amount of time to study how this system works and to teach people who join our business to do exactly the same. That's how the business grows. So what is our business system? If you're new in this business, or if you've been there for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, if you've been there for 20 years, if you really want financial independence, that means that if you want a situation where the business grows with or without you, then know what the business system is. And the following 8 issues, or the following 8 points, constitute of what our business system is. And if you master it, and if you put it into practice, and you teach everybody in your team to do what you do, your business will grow with or without you. The first part is your personhood, personal enthusiasm. That simply means that you need to really believe in this business, and people who you speak to will sense whether you believe in this business or not. Personal enthusiasm. There's a difference between excitement and enthusiasm. Excitement is what people see on the outside. Enthusiasm is what goes on within your being, either in your mind or in your heart or in your soul. The word enthusiasm comes from the word, a Greek word, which is entheo, which means the God within. So having enthusiasm means you've got internal strength and power that makes you exude confidence. So a very important aspect of our business is personal enthusiasm. The second part of our business system are the tools. What are these? Tools are things that we use to build our business, and they have been professionally prepared. For example, the videos, CDs, magazines, brochures. I would recommend that if you're new in the business, spend some time to invest in a little bit of those things. Videos. Most of the videos we get are online videos. So I don't think you spend a lot of money. You just need to know which videos to send to your team so that your team can benefit from the knowledge of what we see from the videos. Then we have CDs. Why are CDs very important? CDs are very important because from my experience, I have learned so much from listening to CDs while I drive either to work or to see prospect, or if I've got a long journey that I'm alone or with somebody in the car, I put a CD to listen to because I get tremendous amount of information from the CDs on the products, on personal development, how to build this business, how to develop the right attitude, because this is what helps us to grow in the business. Then lifestyle magazines, then product brochures, all these are called tools. And the more tools you put into practice in the market or in the field, the faster your business grows. I can tell you this for a fact. If you share 3 videos every day with your prospects, in a year's time, you should not be less than a Sapphire director. Why do I say that? Because our business follows something called the law of numbers. The law of numbers simply means if you speak to 20 people about our business professionally, that means you ask them a question if they're interested in looking at a business that can earn them additional income. and they say yes, and you share the video with them. If you share the videos with 3 people every day, it means in a week you've shared with 15. In a month you've shared with 60 people. You should be able to get 3 to 4 people in that group to join your business. If you get 3 or 4 people to join your business, by the end of the year, it should not be at less than a Sapphire Director business. Okay, so use the tools to the maximum. In fact, the team that uses the most tools is the team that grows the fastest. The third part of our business system is weekly business presentations. This is where an experienced speaker or a successful leader shows the business because they have been trained to do so. And the reason why this is important is it relieves the distributor from the fear of presenting the business. Having said that, I would recommend that if you learn how to do your own business presentations, your business will grow faster than if you don't. Okay, so the weekly business opportunity presentations are designed to help the whole team grow in business. So if you're new in the business, your job is to invite your prospects to have a look at the business during the business opportunity presentations. The fourth part of our business system is weekly training events like this one, where we share knowledge about how to build the business, we share knowledge about the products, we share knowledge how to become better people, because that is how growth occurs in our business. So you need to attend weekly training events. One arranged by your team leader, some you arrange in your own personal group, because the team that is best trained is a team that wins. The fifth aspect of our business system is the monthly recognition rallies. That is when our whole group gets together to recognize the people who've been successful or have done something significant in the previous month. Okay, so there are different types of recognition. We normally have every Thursday for our East African group, but each team or each director team or world team group meets to have their own recognition so that everybody feels part of a team or a group. The sixth one is the annual Neolife Convention. Each region has got their own convention. Southern Africa, for example, in Southern Africa, we are having a virtual convention on the 21st of August. The one which is supposed to be on the 14th of August for East Africa has been shifted to the 30th of, I think the 30th or 31st of October because of what is currently going on around the world. Number 7 is the annual team weekend rally. This is the weekend rally arranged by top leaders in each region that the distributors come together for 2 days to share stories about the experience and success. This is part of the business system. If you're a distributor, make sure you sell these events. I remember when we were starting in the business, Charlie Bolton told us, if you really want to be successful, make sure that each weekend convention, you have at least 7 legs attending the convention, because for most people, the penny drops for them at this event. I remember my own case. Betty and I started in March 1996. I was very excited about the business, and we started building it quite rapidly. And our first check was about $3. After 7 months, our income reached $1,000. And we attended what is called the Free Enterprise Convention in Bloemfontein in South Africa. In that meeting, there were 4,000 distributors. And I was so elated, I was so consumed and excited about what I saw that I started collecting names of the people who were attending. And then Betty whispered to me and said, by the way, do you know that the people who are attending this meeting are all distributors? So don't bother taking them their names, because I saw a chance to get people in my business. For me, that was a turning point of our business. So if you want your business to grow very rapidly, every convention, make sure you have at least 7 legs attending that convention. And the last part of our business system is the team incentives. The team incentives is each team leader gives their own incentives from their own personal pockets because they want to recognize people in their group or in their team who have done fantastic jobs. So team incentives makes part of our business system. And if you want to really grow a big business, make sure this is implemented in your team. But apart from this, you as a distributor, you need to have your personal action that plugs into this business system. All right. The first thing is the four basics. What are the four basics? Build a name list, invite the people professionally to see the business, either through videos, CDs, or inviting them for the business opportunity presentations. Show them the plan and do a follow-up for them to join or not to join. If they say yes, get them started in the business. The second personal thing you need to do is daily reading and listening to CDs. I think the next topic I'm going to discuss is attitude. And one of the ways to shape your attitude or to get your attitude right is to listen to CDs and read good books every day. Why is that? Because the world is full of such negative news. And one of the ways to prevent yourself from absorbing this negative news is to constantly read positive and good books. And then using and retailing products. If you do these things, the first one builds your team. The second one builds yourself. And the third one helps you build your personal PV. And that is how your business grows. Okay? The last thing I would like to share with you is your attitude. For me, this is the most important success attribute that you need to develop to become successful. What is attitude? Attitude is a way of life, is a way of thinking, is the why of life. I remember reading a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was a Jew who survived the Holocaust. And one of the things that helped him to survive is he constantly visualized himself giving lectures about his experience in the concentration camps. Why am I telling you this? Because he created a reason to survive the horrors. So attitude is the why of life, the reason why we do things. In definition, attitude is a way of thinking towards issues. All right? And what are these issues we need to think about? What is your attitude towards Neolife as a company? Are you proud of Neolife as a company? Are you proud of the products they produce, the science that goes behind the research and development of products? What is your attitude towards your sponsor? Remember, you're in this business for yourself, but not by yourself. Your sponsor is there to guide you. But remember, your sponsor doesn't do it for you. They simply guide you. They help you until you gain confidence and begin building the business yourself. Because remember, when Neolife pays you, the check goes directly to your account. It doesn't go to your sponsor. The only way your sponsor benefits from your effort if they help you become successful. So your sponsor has a direct benefit from helping you become successful. Number 4, what is your attitude towards your team? Okay, is your team part of your success, or is your team? Are you using your team as a springboard? In fact, what I have noticed in this business, the more you give yourself to your team, the more successful you're going to become. The fifth one is challenges. Now, all of us have got challenges. I have not met anybody in life who doesn't have challenges, who doesn't have problems. All right. And I was listening to what's his name, Tyler Perry. He was being interviewed, and somebody asked him, "What are some of the mistakes you have made, or some of the failures you've had?" He said, "I've never had any failure." So the reporter asked him, "What do you mean you've never had any failure?" He said, "No, I have had lessons, yes, but I've never had any failures." The question is, what is your attitude towards the challenges? Are challenges springboards for you to learn things, or do you see challenges as the most devastating things? Challenges are there to make you stronger. And all of us have challenges. It just depends on your attitude towards them. The sixth thing is success. What is your attitude towards success? I can say this without fear of conflict, that in this business, one of the greatest challenges you face is when you become successful. When you get to 2 ruby, 3 ruby, 4 ruby, 5 ruby, 1 diamond, 2 diamond, it's very easy for this to get into your head. And that's why you need to be constantly sponsoring people, because when you go and talk to a prospect, they don't know what a diamond director is, they don't know what a president's team member is, they don't know what a world team member is, and you need to keep sponsoring to keep yourself humble, because people don't know what these terms mean. Only when they get into the business, then they discover what they are. So I would suggest to you that you need to have a good attitude towards success. And one of the attitudes is having an attitude of gratitude. That means if you're thankful for the things you have rather than complaining about the things that you don't have. And then what is your attitude towards yourself? Four things that are very important. First is your own personal health. Exercise, rest, and diet. These are 3 key things that you need to have a successful life. You see, the only thing that will help you get to your dreams is your physical body. How much care do you give your physical body in terms of rest? Rest doesn't mean doing nothing. Rest simply means taking part in things that require less effort. That is what rest is. Then you need an exercise program. An exercise program that helps you to build your cardiovascular system, to build your muscular system, to build your skeletal structure, so that you can become flexible and have better health. And the last one is diet. I think all of us know about diet, the things we eat, the supplements we take. What is your attitude towards personal study and reading? You see, the only thing that will take you to success is your brain. How much, I was listening to one of the best speakers in the world called Peter J. Daniels, and they said the average American spends less than $10 a year to build their brain. They don't spend a lot of money to, and I would challenge you also, if you're a distributor, how much money do you spend to buy good books and read to build yourself? Because remember that you are paid according to not what you want, but you're paid according to who you are. How successful are you? What is your attitude towards your relationships? Your relationship with your spouse, with your family, with your distributors, with your friends. These are the things that makes life meaningful. And the last thing about your attitude towards yourself is gratitude. Gratitude simply means that you're thankful for the things that you have instead of complaining about the things that you don't have. In fact, tonight I would recommend you to do two things. Number one, sit down and take a piece of paper and write down 10 things you're grateful to God for. And if you read this every morning and every evening, you will find that the way you approach life is different, because you're able to sense what is important to you and what is not important. So an attitude of gratitude is a very important element for our success in life and our general happiness. And remember the ask principle. What is ask? Ask is attitude, skill, and knowledge. And before I end, something I'd like to share with you. And this is, you need to spend yourself to the service of others. When you do things to satisfy only your desires, that leads to lust. If you save money only to please yourself, that leads to avarice. When you have incredible knowledge and you don't use it to train others, it easily leads to pride. So make sure you spend yourself for the service of others, and if you do that, you will be rewarded in ways that you never thought possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to share this evening with you to talk about two things. Business system. If you're really serious, master what our business system is. The 8 things that we spoke about. Number one is personal enthusiasm. Number two, the tool that you use to build your business. Number three is weekly business opportunity presentations. The more you learn how to do it yourself, the faster your business grows. The fourth is the weekly training events. The fifth is the monthly recognition rally. The sixth is the annual conventions that Neolife organizes in each region. The seventh is the annual team weekend rallies. And the eighth is a personal team incentives if you're a world team leader. And then break it down to your own personal effort. The four basics: name list, invite, show the plan, and follow up. Daily reading and listening to CDs, using and retailing products, and then build your attitude that will help you to become successful. If you do that, and if you keep at it, nothing will stop you from becoming a president's team member. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been wonderful sharing this evening with you. Paul, back to you.
Thank you so much, Pascal, for that amazing session that you have been able to take us together with Betty. Betty has been able to give us some tips in terms of how we can be able to help ourselves and other people to be able to not to get cancer, and also how we can be able to position the Neolife products just in case we have somebody who is having that kind of a challenge. So this is a place where you get a lot of knowledge. You can hear it from our leaders, and Pascal has been able to break it down, the things that we need to be able to succeed in our business. And I'm looking at all those basics. Those are things that every leader that I've seen succeeding in this opportunity, those are things they've been able to incorporate in their system and their game plan. And within a matter of time, you'll be able to see the results coming to you. So it's one of the best way to be able to start the month of August with a powerful training. And I believe our distributors on the call, you are now better informed in terms of the things that you can be able to do so that you can be able to record a better results than what you recorded in the month of July or the rest of the year. Because we want to see you growing from one step to the other. There is no limit when it comes to Neolife. Everything is you to be able to decide how much money you need to take home, how healthy you want to be, how the environment that you want to be able to succeed. So we have everything it takes for you to be able to build your business and be able to achieve the dreams that you have for yourself and your family. As Pascal has been able to tell us, just in case you may not have received the news, our convention, we have been able to move it from the 14th of August to the 31st of October. And that is a Neolife East Africa convention. So we'll be able to have it virtually, and Tanzania can be able to have it physically if the COVID situation allows. So that is something that you need to mark that date so that you don't miss out on that big day, as Pascal has been able to share with us today. So I just want to say thank you for all the distributors on the call for tuning in. Let's make the month of August bigger and better. And next week on Thursday, we are going to have our recognition. So we'll be able to see the things that happened to our business in the month of July. And I can attest that East Africa business grew in a very big way in the month of July. So it's a good place we have. We are growing together. And as I said, we have what it takes to move you to where you are, to where you want to be. So from me, Pascal and Betty, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow we have our Swahili session. So have a wonderful night and see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone, and God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, Pascal. Thank you.
Bye, Paul.
Thank you. Bye-bye.